Hi everyone, welcome to episode number 52 of Perfect Inspiration. My name is Brian Matiash. So 52 weeks, that means that every single Friday for a year, we've dropped a new episode of Perfect Inspiration, either by me or by one of our wonderful partners. So I want to thank everyone for making this program so successful. It means a tremendous amount to me, and I think it's fantastic that we have this really cool milestone of 52 weeks. So to celebrate it, let's work on an image here that I took on a very recent trip to Australia. It was an amazing trip, and this was the first time I actually put into practice something that I had thought about in the past, and that is to really pay attention and to make a game plan for a shot that specifically won't be created until you're back at the computer. So what I mean by that is, here I am, and I'm standing, this is Point Hamilton in Australia, and I wanted to convey, I purposely picked this area, this kind of wide open area. You've got a lot of open rock, the rock floor over here, and the waves come crashing in. And so what I wanted to do was create a scene that had a lot of layers to it, as it were. Now, if I were to hold down the exposure for a long time, you wouldn't really get the waves here. You would kind of get this kind of long, misty look. So what I did was, I thought about taking 3 separate exposures to cover motion over here, in the middle, and in the foreground. And you can see here in the layer stack, we've got those 3 images. I already have them, background, middle, and foreground. So this is the background. This is the active layer. If I turn that off, here's the second exposure. You can see how we've got the motion here in the middle, and the waves in the background have subsided. And then the final one is the foreground. So we've got all of this really nice play over here in the front. And so what I want to do first is, I thought about it. Instead of trying to do all these different things with long exposures and use filters, I took 3 separate exposures at different parts. It's the same wave. All 3 of these are the same wave. It's the progression. So the background wave, then it comes through the center, and then all the way to the foreground. So I thought that was really cool, and it's called the life of a wave. So with that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the bottom layer, and I'm going to stick with the background layer on top. And I'm going to use the masking bug, and I'm going to click on the image over here. Now what that's going to do is it's going to essentially open up part of the frame. So now we're essentially revealing the middle part of the second layer. We're basically punching a hole through. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that opacity down to 0, and I'll show you why. Rather, not opacity, the feather. I'm going to bring the feather, and you can see how as I drag up and down, you start to see that. So I'm going to bring it to about there. And then now that I've got that hard line, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the feather and I'm going to bring it up just a bit. And now you can see how it blends super nicely over here. I'm also going to take the masking brush. I'm going to start drawing in over here to get some of the wave. So you can see here there's just a little bit that I want to capture. Okay, so that's good. Now with that done, I'm going to go ahead and I have to create a new layer. And this new layer is going to combine these 2 visible layers. And to do that, I'm going to go to Layer, New Stamped Layer. And what that does is it's going to take only the visible layers, and now we have a 3rd layer. So this allows me to go ahead and take these 2 layers and then click Delete, because I don't need them anymore. Now, if I turn the foreground layer, we'll call this top and middle. So now we have the top and middle layer, and if I turn it off, you'll see that there's the foreground. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did just before. I'm going to take the masking bug, I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to make the bug horizontal. I'm going to bring it down kind of right around there. And so you can see now that we're able to get a really nice kind of life cycle of the wave. It goes from here to here to here. All right, now I'm going to take the masking brush, and I'm going to just start drawing right around here as well, just to get some more of the water as it flows through. Just make a nice, really clean mask. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to repeat the process of going to Layer and then selecting New Stamped Layer to create essentially the final layer. This has all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the bottom 2 layers, and I'm going to call this Final. if I can type. There we go. It's hard to type when you're holding one of the Wacom styluses in your hand and you're trying to type with that hand. So, all right, now we have our working layer. This is the layer we're going to be working with in effects. So I'm going to select effects from the module selector and we'll begin stylizing. All right, so now let's start stylizing. I'm going to go ahead and go to the landscape category here, and I'm going to scroll down and use an appropriate effect called Magic Ocean. And Magic Ocean, you'll see here, gives the image a really nice bite, nice vignette, some more contrast, and just a little bit of clarity in the rock. I'm going to keep it at 100%. If I take it to 0 and then bring it up, I'll actually find out that, you know what, 100% works well. That doesn't happen very often, but in this case, I like it. Next, I'm going to click Add, and what I want to do is add just a little bit of a warm hue to the sky. And to do that, I'm going to go to an old favorite called Golden Hour Enhancer. Now, Golden Hour Enhancer will apply to the whole image, and I don't want that. I only want it applied in the sky. So I'm just going to go ahead first and take my masking bug, just like we did in Perfect Layers. I'm going to click in the image, I'm going to make it horizontal, and I'm going to bring it more towards the foreground. Now, just like I did also in Perfect Layers, I'm going to take the feather of the masking bug and bring it down to 0. And so you can see there's our hard edge right there. And I'm going to bring that closer towards the horizon, and then when it's at the horizon, you can see right over here, I'm going to take that feather and I'm going to bring it up just a bit until the blending occurs. And so there we go, we have a really nice smooth blend. Now that I've got the actual location of the image set for Golden Hour Enhancer, I'm going to take the amount, bring it down to 0, and then just add about half of it, because I don't want it to be that strong. Now, we'll click Add. And then to add a nice glow to the highlights, I'm going to go down. Again, we're still in the landscape category. I'm going to go to the Radiance effect. Radiance effect adds a really nice glow to the image. I'm going to bring it down to 0. I'm going to bring it up just about 38%. And then I'm going to add one more effect. The last effect is going to be a custom tone enhancer, which I love to do. So I'm going to click on the effect options and then select tone enhancer. And here I'm going to bring the black level down to 0, but I'm going to bring the shadow recovery up because I want to bring out some of the shadows in the foreground. Now I'm going to bring that strength over to 0, and again, just about halfway, about 60%. And so you can see it does a really nice job of kind of adding even more detail to the rock, and also especially to the motion of the water. And so if we hit the preview button at the bottom over here, you can see this is, oops, that's our original image, and then this is our after image. So a shot like this doesn't really need that much stylization to it. It's just really beautiful. I just want to kind of accentuate it. And now that I'm done, I'll just click Apply to return back to Perfect Layers. All right, so we're back in Perfect Layers, and I'm done with the image. You can see that this was, again, the image before we sent it into Perfect Effects, and then this is our stylized version. And so, just to reiterate, it doesn't only have to apply to waves, but if you want to capture, something that has a full cycle that lives outside of the confine of just one image, think about it. Think about, study the motion, study the movement, the path, and use multiple exposures. Take, 3, 4, 5 exposures, and then use the power of layer blending to get it into one frame. And then from there, you have a really unique shot. So here, it wouldn't have been possible for me to get the full life cycle of this wave unless I took the separate exposures. So with that, I hope it gives you continued food for thought when you're out with your camera or you're in front of your computer. And I want to thank you for 52 wonderful weeks of perfect inspiration. Thank you very much.